we're content creators. As content creators, our goal was to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And, that was this big, shiny goal that we thought it would take years to do. And that when we got to it, we'd be rich and, famous and, there'd be red carpets and whatever, right? And we're here. And I'm not going to lie. The YouTube money is a few $100 a month. And nobody knows our name.
It's funny because you put all of these milestones on a pedestal thinking, when that happens, we're going to be totally different. And guess what? It's another Thursday.
Yeah.
Back to the grind, back to the work, and back to putting out great content, back to designing awesome products, back to building our business, back to sharing martial arts and helping the next generation get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is another episode of the Budo Brothers podcast. You got Eric.
And Kyle.
And we are excited to announce that we hit a major milestone.
We're golden, baby.
Golden! A milli. We hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, so thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube. It was funny. I want to say 2-3 months ago, decided to really put a focus on YouTube.
Yes.
And I remember us talking, we were at 125,000 subscribers or something. That took us 6 years to build.
Right.
And we just always thought, YouTube's a slow grind. It's a slow grind. Until you put out a viral video.
Yeah, Kevin Goat headlock video really upped our numbers.
It went bananas.
Yeah.
This headlock reel, short.
Yeah,
sorry,
short.
YouTube Shorts.
And this is back when YouTube Shorts just came out. So we really kind of lucked into timing, place, everything. We knew the video was a good video, but we did not expect it to do, it's close to 90 million views already.
Something crazy. It's going to break 100 million. That to me blows my mind.
Yeah.
100 million is a big country.
Yeah. And the coolest part about what I'm seeing with our content is that it's reaching people outside of martial arts.
Yeah.
And one of our biggest goals has been to get people who've never heard of martial arts at least aware and hopefully involved in martial arts and just with the principles contained within martial arts. And I think the headlock video was so viral because it is a situation that almost everybody's been put in, whether it's back in school or when you're fooling around with friends and you get in a headlock, you get stuck and you want to get out. It's something that, everybody's like, how do you get out of that? Yeah.
And Kevin Goat is a great instructor. His teaching style is very clear and concise, so the videos do well. And it's very simple. The moves, basic in terms of, it's not flash, it's not complex, you don't do a cartwheel and then,
Yeah.
it's what is the most efficient and how can Kevin articulate that in the shortest amount of time possible.
And, it really taught me something about goals and goal setting too. We're content creators. As content creators, our goal was to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And, that was this big, shiny goal that we thought it would take years to do. And that when we got to it, we'd be rich and, famous and, there'd be red carpets and whatever, right? And we're here. And I'm not going to lie. The YouTube money is a few $100 a month. And nobody knows our name.
It's funny because you put all of these milestones on a pedestal thinking, when that happens, we're going to be totally different. And guess what? It's another Thursday.
Yeah.
Back to the grind, back to the work, and back to putting out great content, back to designing awesome products, back to building our business, back to sharing martial arts and helping the next generation get involved.
And, it's important that you enjoy the process too, because we just put up the plaque on our wall, and yes, it was a cool moment, and it was nice to do. But if you only focus on the reward, it's so fleeting, right? Okay, we got it. We put it on the wall. What's next, right? Now we're after the next one, the diamond, right?
Right. What's a diamond? 100 million?
10 million.
10 million.
10 million, which seems like it's impossible as well.
Yeah.
But if you don't take a time to enjoy the process and enjoy the moment, the accomplishment just are fleeting, right? And it's so much time spent in wanting the next thing and the next thing and the next level versus being happy and content with like where you're at and what you're doing.
And putting one foot in front of the next.
Yeah.
Taking steps and just knowing that you've got a North Star and you're heading towards that North Star and enjoying the process, looking around every once in a while. You know, maybe stopping and smelling the roses and taking stock of how far we have come. We beat ourselves up all the time because we're not doing this enough. We're falling behind here, and man, why can't we do this? Like, we beat ourselves up all the time. When in reality, we should be celebrating, but not boasting and taking our foot off the gas like we've made it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you do that, whack.
Yeah, you got to stay within the markers. You can't be too high and too low on the equation. And you know, it's like imagining yourself as a white belt for the first time. If you just look at black belts and you judge yourself compared to their skill, and like you're in jiu-jitsu or you're in karate or you're in aikido and you walk in the dojo, you're a white belt, and you're like, man, this black belt is so far away, I'll never get there. That's so many years away.
Yeah. Can I do that?
Yeah. And instead, you just focus on showing up every day, and someday you get that black belt around your waist, right?
Showing up, putting in the work, and every day adding another brick to stand on. And brick by brick, before you know it, you've built a castle.
And, you know, it's never a linear path, is it?
No.
Like, you have where you're at. In the future, you set a goal. And, you know, in your mind, it's like this linear progression, this path, right? Where in reality, it's like up, down, backwards, around, swirl, like, you know, and it never takes shape the way that you want it or you imagined it would.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you just keep chipping away, you do make progress. Consistency is a superpower.
That's it. So what was your vision for our YouTube channel, and how would you compare that from like the early days of us? Just YouTube's kind of always been a bit of an afterthought for us. And it wasn't until we went, all right, let's focus on this. What was the YouTube channel that you had envisioned?
Well, YouTube wasn't even really at the front of our mind, because when we first came out, we were Facebook. Like, so heavy involved in Facebook. We didn't really dabble into YouTube much. We just throw some random videos on it.
Yeah. And scraps from Facebook.
And then, you know, YouTube's more episodic. Consistency.
Long form.
Right? And just, you know, we post a Kevin video every week now. We post a reality check every week now. We post a podcast every week now. So people get used to tuning in. And that's what's really different, I think, that we changed, is that we have consistent pieces of content that we put out weekly.
Right.
Yeah. And that really was an evolution, I think, for how we put out content. And, you know, we sacrificed things for that, because we used to put out a mag.
Oh, yeah. E-magazine.
Yeah. And, you know, that would take a lot of work, but we replaced it with like weekly content. Yeah.
Which has way more reach. Man, half the time, you know how much effort we put into that magazine, and the 200 people that get it loved it. It's great. Yep. But I mean, is that how we can have the highest, most powerful impact? And I think this is, proof is in the pudding. Yeah. We have gone far and wide.
Yes. And don't get us wrong. We would love to put out a monthly magazine. That's a dream of ours to do that. It's just we only have so many hours in a day.
Big time.
And you know, we're feeling a little bit chokehold on that. Like, we're actually, for the first time in a long time, looking at bringing somebody aboard to help us organize ourselves.
Yes. Yep.
And that's a big step for us, because this is our baby.
Yeah.
And we don't want any outside influences, or not any outside things that could cause it trouble, I guess.
And we're very, if you want it done right, you do it yourself kind of mentality in a lot of areas. You know, in a lot of areas, we just say, hey, it's going to take me way longer to tell somebody how to do this or show somebody, and it'll probably do it not as well. Yeah. And that's a trap, though, because now, shocker, we're so busy and we have all these incomplete tasks and things that are important that are continually shelved.
Yeah. So going back to like our YouTube and the social media realm, if you're a martial artist out there, what would you recommend? What platform would you right now recommend for a dojo or a person who's starting off to start on? Because like it's a completely different game out there right now. What do you think?
Right now, if you're a school and you want to get reach, I think a local Facebook page is good. Obviously, you can put together a group. You can, because you want to be focusing on people within an area, right?
Yeah.
Within your community. Like somebody who lives on the other side of town has to really want to go to your dojo if it takes them 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
But if you're in the local community center and you're in this little strip mall, you got a nice little dojo, I think Facebook makes the most business sense.
Yeah.
Reach, though, YouTube, I think, is much more the play. And who knows, if you put out regular content that's valuable, that people like, that could be another stream of income for you.
No joke. Yeah, it is. It's a slow grind, but it is something that does build. And I think that's what discourages people a lot when they put some stuff out, is that they put it out and they don't get any feedback or response.
Or immediate
response.
Yeah.
And that's either, well, there's two things that could be happening. One is like just need more time in the game, more consistency, or you need to tweak your presentation, your content, and make it more suitable for your audience, right? Like we take all of our comments, we read them, we adjust them, and we really refine what it is that we're saying. Like we try to take out all the filler.
Yep.
We try to take out all the salesy stuff that people don't care about, and we make it potent. And even just working with Kevin Goat, Jay Cooper, Sifu Singh, Francis Fong, like a whole bunch of different martial artists, this stuff works into getting them customers, into getting them more attention, into improving their teaching. Like they teach through it too. Like it's like the first step of their teaching. It's almost like, hey, I'm doing something here that is worth some attention, and then people will dive in deeper, right? It's a gateway.
What would you say for people that are not familiar with our YouTube channel, and especially because we really just made these changes recently, maybe just walk some of our listeners through the main pillar content that we're working on.
Right. So we're trying to keep pillar content is like consistent, staple, every week content. So generally, like this is the calendar right now, it can change, so don't hold us to this, but Mondays is Kevin Goat content, right? Wednesdays is reality check content.
What's reality check?
Reality check is with Sensei Jay Cooper, and he takes real life scenarios. Maybe it's an altercation at a bar, maybe it's a road rage, and he adds the mindset of being a police officer for quite some time, and he talks about legal ramifications. Was ego involved? What's the result? He more takes a look and an observation and starts conversations around it. He leaves it open for people to discuss the points in the comments section, and that's what I really like. It's like he gives his take, but it's not a concrete like this is what he's kicking the hornet's nest a little bit and then allowing everybody to have a conversation about it. And then Thursdays is this podcast. So if you're listening to this and you haven't watched our faces, our beautiful faces, where we put those on YouTube, and then that's the main things. And we'll have special features in there. It's like Michelle Watterson will be in there quite regularly for the next little bit, and we're gonna have Francis Fong and Kevin Lee in there quite a bit. And then after that, we got Pintados coming out, and he'll be a major theme that you'll see in our content coming up.
And then the odd video that we chop that does well on some platforms, we'll throw it on YouTube too as a bonus.
Yeah. In fact, we're starting to run out of days of the week.
It's true.
Yeah. We're almost posting daily, so it's a nice platform. And if you're only on Instagram seeing our stuff, you only see like the short versions of our stuff. Like YouTube is the full-fledged video, and obviously Facebook too. Yeah.
Budo Brothers Challenge.
Budo Brothers Challenge is simple. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. And if you have, turn on the notifications, ping us, do all the YouTube things. Just joking. Just engage with us. We love hearing your comments and love your feedback. And if you only get value from this podcast and listen to this podcast, thank you. Because honestly, out of all the pieces of content that we put out, this one is the hardest to grow, because we sit here and we talk about things that are near and dear to our heart. There's no flash about it. It's just real, raw.
Just us.
And if you've been tuned in and listening to this, thank you so much.
It means the world to us to be able to sit down every week and you listen in on these conversations. And hopefully someday we get to meet some of you in person.
Absolutely. Until next week.
Adios.